in a folder on the side of my desktop, and those were Plan D, right? I hired somebody who followed directions. So it says write a cover letter, it will take you 15 minutes, right? Have a template, you know, personalize it a little bit, personalize your resume, right? Just to tell your employer a little bit about yourself. So just watch those things really, really closely. You don't want to be unfairly filed away, right? Just because you didn't follow the instructions. The other thing about it is always ask very specific questions and have specific examples in the interview process. When I finish an interview and I feel really great about Bruce, we just had a great interview, and I say, do you have any questions for me about the corporation, the umbrella corporation that I work for, which is a big one, the company here in Hawaii, which is a pretty large employer? And Bruce says, no, I think you answered all my questions. You know, what that does for me is it places me in the client, business client relationship, right? And he's not going to ask my clients information about them to suit their needs with what he's doing in his job. That's probably a pretty good indication that he's kind of assuming he already knows everything, right? You know, the one last thing though that I would say, and I think Christy kind of touched on this, was when you're asked, and you will be asked a lot of questions in the interview process, and we're all kind of in sales and marketing. I mean, that's the type of people we are. And as salespeople, we can become very vague, right? Being vague in an interview is like death, right? When someone says to you, you know, give me an example of a time that you had trouble with another employee and how you dealt with that, be very specific. And I mean like as specific as you can be, because then it doesn't look like you're making it up, right? Or tell me about a success that you had with a program that you ran or an event that you planned. I thought that was a great example. You know, I expected 3,000 people. We actually had 5,000 people that came. That's very specific, right? That's something that would catch my attention, right? Somebody says, yeah, I'm really great at running events. You know, that doesn't set them apart to me. So just always remember specific questions.
Here's the good news. Behavioral interviews, you too. That is it. The examples, be very specific, you got it nailed. All the companies are doing it, so it's a good way to go.
The other really important thing, and it's not so much technical, but it is a skill, it's the public speaking and presentation skills. I really think that that's something that everyone needs to make sure that they work on. It's important moving into the corporate world, but also just in any job that you do, is the way you present yourself. You know, and I think there's sort of a common thread here when we talk about passion and we talk about, you know, what your character is and what your brand is as a person, right? I mean, because we all, whether we know it or not, have a brand, and people know that brand and what they can expect from you. And it's building that brand and working on that brand to make sure that it is something that people would want to have within their company. I really like hearing that a lot of you are involved in student clubs. I think that's very important. It's one, networking, as Clint, the king of networking. If you guys see him out in the community, it's great that you got that question, because it is important. Student clubs help you with that, right? It helps you to expand your network and create relationships, because that's really what networking is about. It's not about finding people in which, you know, what can you do for me? It's building the relationships so that when you need them, then you can ask them, right, for that help, and that they'll have your back. So student clubs, definitely. What I like to tell people is to find a cause that you're passionate about and volunteer. You know, it feeds the soul, but it also, when you can find something that you're passionate about and that you enjoy doing, that's really what ignites, I think. You know, and so I think that's a really important thing to focus on, is finding that passion and volunteering for whatever that cause is.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Network here. What is your take on staying on the islands after I graduate, or just taking the next ship and my next opportunity around the world?
Need a local touch, right? I always prefer someone who knows this market over someone that I have to bring in from the outside. I was originally brought here in 2005 with Gannett when we owned the Honolulu Advertiser. I was brought in as Vice President of Sales and Marketing. And we used to relocate people in all the time, right? Nakano was famous for moving people around. The success rate of people in this market that don't know the culture and don't know the business climate in this market is abysmal, okay? So if you are looking to, and these guys may have a slightly different perspective because a lot of the client base is coming from without, right, outside of the market. But all the other supporting local businesses, right, really need people who understand the business climate and the market here, which takes experience in this market and time in school in this market, and then transitioning into one of our companies counts.
I'll comment on it also. I would agree, knowing and understanding the culture of Hawaii is extremely important. I mean, just recently is now in our luxury collection with Starwood Hotels and Resorts, which is the more luxury brand. We rebranded in 2009, and as we've had more and more leadership and management openings, I've been looking for people who have that luxury experience. And I brought somebody over from Las Vegas, and in a luxury hotel from Las Vegas, had great banquet experience. And during the interview, behavioral interview, did a spectacular job. And when that person got here, did not connect from just the way in which we do business here in Hawaii. And so the person didn't stay. Didn't last 3 weeks. It was the same for that person and for us. I mean, that person felt the same way as we did, had some good understanding of the business, but not the people and the culture. And so I guess my response to you would be, wherever the job is where I would go. And it sounds like you love Hawaii and you've got this passion for the culture. Continue to grow that, and in your interview, bring that out, because a lot of our, I mean, all of our hotels really look for somebody who has that understanding.
At the Tim School, the hospitality side is more prominent. And so we see like limited transportation type of internship. So this is for Daniel mostly. Working for Alaskan Airlines, does the company provide any internship opportunities for students?
They're all based in Seattle, which is where our corporate office is. We actually do bring on about 40 interns a year, which is quite a bit, and we put them in various places in the company. And so obviously, I'm not too familiar with what Hawaiian's internship program is, but with Hawaiian's home base being here, I would think that there would be opportunities there. I am working on possibly bringing on an intern for myself, because I am a one-man team out here in regards to sales, marketing, government, everything. So that may be an opportunity come next summer. But there isn't a whole lot of opportunity within our company, unfortunately, in terms of internships. But I do absolutely recommend that you look into possibilities with Hawaiian Airlines. If in regards to the airline industry, you might know this already. Airline people love airline people. We almost expect that you come out of the womb with airline experience, for some reason. And so, you just have to get started somewhere. So it's whether it be an internship or entry level, at the airport. It's just the way into the industry, and then you can sort of find out what you want to do in it.